Good morning, good afternoon, and good day everybody. David here, and in today's video I'm going to be just sort of talking about my excitement for Beyond Light really. Just covering over the recent This Week at Bungie's and the latest vidoc that Bungie posted. And yeah, really just discussing the future of Destiny, where the new direction Bungie seems to be taking the game. Now, as of this video being posted, it is just 4 days away from Beyond Light, and to say that I'm excited is a bit of an understatement. I think this is going to be a real big turning point for both Bungie and for the game as a whole. So, first things first, the obvious new content coming. This includes new destinations, new story, some familiar recent faces, as well as some faces of characters we've not seen in a long time. People like the Exo Stranger, who, for anyone that's played D1 will know, she's been in the lore of the game for a very, very long time, and we know pretty much next to nothing about her. Just completely surrounded in mystique. So I'm hoping her backstory and lore is touched upon in this DLC, and I'm almost certain it will be. I believe in the recent vidoc, Luke Smith said something very much along the lines of the stranger is back, and she finally has a lot of time to say why she didn't have time before.
We're going to see the return of a character who's been absent for a pretty long time in the Stranger, and boy does she have a lot to say, and she has a lot of time to explain.
When I know more, you'll know more.
So yeah, I really hope her story is fleshed out. For anyone new to Destiny, doesn't know anything about the Exo Stranger, I recommend a lore video, which I shall post below, by My Name is Bife, where he will just summarise everything you will need to possibly know about the Exo Stranger. And if you're interested in Destiny lore as a whole, his channel is just absolutely incredible. He covers everything, so I definitely recommend checking him out. For those of you playing currently, I recommend also finishing the mission chain where you have to help Eris out and visit the seed from the tree every week. I can't remember what the mission chain's called off the top of my head right now, but as of this week that sort of culminates into a sort of big moment, so I definitely recommend finishing that off because that sets you up for Beyond Light. I also believe, bit of speculation here, that there's a possible new secret mission on the way, something like the Whisper of the Worm mission, because in the vidoc it is teased that there's a lot of secrets below the surface of Europa, and they're excited for us Guardians discovering these secrets and stuff.
Under the eyes, all kinds of secrets.
I'm so excited for what players are going to find.
And Hawkmoon has been teased about coming back, but has not been spoken about at all since like months and months ago. There's a possibility that there's a secret mission in the depths of Europa, and who knows, possibly Hawkmoon could be the reward for that. Another thing that gets me excited, lore-wise, this is sort of the first time we're actually going against other creatures that can wield abilities like the light or dark. I think this was sort of teased in a way in the main vanilla Destiny 2 campaign with Gaul, when he harnesses the light at the end. Now we're starting to see everyday sort of ads, like the Fallen and stuff, are using dark abilities now. This is sort of just the world evolving, the next steps of not just us Guardians having this ability, but it being widely used across other species as well. This sort of drips into the Aldrin story as well, which I'm super stoked about.
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here. Impossible.
Light and dark relationship that's obviously taken form in the universe at the minute is also a sort of metaphor, or is embodied by our relationship with Aldrin and our past with him. And now that he's using the light as a guardian, and us as guardians are now dipping our foot in the darkness, they've really blurred that line between good and evil, and whether Aldrin is pure evil or whether we're actually the ones that are slightly evil. Just this whole story thread is just so awesome, and I'm really, really excited for how that's going to culminate. We also have new subclasses on the way, and Bungie have recently said that this is just the start. and that down the road there's going to be more stasis classes as well. So you can definitely see in the next year or two that there's going to be like maybe 3 different versions of stasis as well. Just the possibilities there are just immense, like just insane. There's also new element type. Stasis isn't just a subclass tree, an entirely new element in the game. So in theory, with Beyond Light, there could be special and heavy stasis weapons as well. Again, the possibilities here are just incredible. Bungie can really just take this idea and go to town with it. Having like a shotgun that fires, instead of pellets, like a load of ice shards or something, or a sniper that when you get a body shot it might slow someone down. Or these ideas can just keep going, and like I said, the possibilities are just insane. The aspects and fragments thing, if you're not aware of it, along with the new subclasses, there's a new way of customizing them using these like skill trees called aspects and fragments. Aspects affect bigger, more universal things, so possibilities of getting a defense buff when you activate your class ability or something. Whereas fragments are more class specific, so I think an example they gave was when a warlock activates their healing rift, it will also freeze surrounding enemies. So this is a sort of big move more towards the RPG style of customization, and is a real signpost of where Bungie plans to take things in the future. It is almost certainly guaranteed if this setup works and is super popular, they're going to bring this to the old subclasses. So this gets me really excited for the future with regards to character customization. I always really loved Destiny 1's setup more than the current Destiny 2 setup. I definitely believe there was more customization with regards to our character builds in D1. But this is a huge turning point, and I reckon this is going to just fundamentally change how builds are made and what the future of Destiny 2 is going to be like from this point onwards. I'm also excited for the new sandbox that's arriving with Beyond Light. My theory is that this could possibly be a step towards a more balanced or more varietied sandbox. As things currently stand, there's actually quite a lot of really good archetypes and really good weapons that are sort of all just under the shadow of like 600 RPM autos and the 150 RPM hand cannons, with 150s changing to 140s. As a side note, this actual change didn't bother me, but I thought a better change would have to split the 140s down the middle, so the 150s to keep their lightweight frame. They still have the movement buffs that come with that, but they still fire at a 140 RPM, and then their base stats are just not as good as the standard 140s. But back to what I was saying, the 600 RPM autos are also getting a slight nerf to bring them in line with the rest of the auto rifles, which are actually in a really solid state right now. So I believe and I hope that with these minor changes, all auto rifles are going to be very much viable, as well as aggressive, rapid fire and adaptive pulses, because they are all in a good spot right now as well. That's all going to fall in line with hand cannons and their range buffs that they've just been given again, as well as the new 120s and the precision 180s having fairly decent base time to kill, but once they activate at kill clip or rampage, they then become really potent, so there's a bigger risk reward factor with those weapons. And then I'm hoping with the ease of life changes to scouts as well, that they also become a viable option. I think the potential is here for it to be as varied as Destiny 2 has ever been, and I'm excited for that. I really hope that that is the case. I think with the change to snipers, them having less aim assist will also help. It'll stop the just annoying thing of happening of getting sniped through flinch when they just pull off a lucky shot that they had really no right in, like claiming that kill on you if you got the jump on them and you were positioned better, you got the first shots in, and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping sniping through flinch happens less often, and I also believe that with the new stasis abilities and the whole thing of slowing people down, that will also stop too much shotgun rushing from becoming an issue as well. But overall, like I said, the potential for a balanced, more varietied and still fun sandbox is definitely there. I really hope it plays out in that way. Now, adept weapons for trials. These look really interesting, but I do have one or two concerns as well. As it stands currently, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any new trials weapons in this coming season. I believe the weapons will stay the same as what we've already got, but of course there will be adept versions of those available if you go flawless. Another concern I have is the mod system they're bringing to the adept weapons. The masterwork system, they've said, sounds great. It actually makes it worth mastering your weapon and boosting not only one stat but boosting several stats, just making like just the base stats of the weapon ridiculous rather than it having some crazy like pinnacle perk. But a concern I have with the mods is that this is just based on the examples they've currently given. That obviously this entirely depends on what the actual scenario is, but the examples they gave was you can either have a mod that boosts a bunch of stats even more, or you can have mods that give you like an even bigger mag increase or more aim assist or something, and then you also have a disadvantage at the same time. So if you increase your magazine, you might have less handling, for example. My concern is that no one's going to pick these. Everyone's just going to pick the mods that give them a stat increase with no drawback. I believe the better way of going about this would have just to have the mods that give you a pro but also a con. And I think this will help with just the balance of things. But again, we're just going to have to see how that plays out. Come Tuesday, when this new season starts and Beyond Light kicks off, this is a perfect time for any new people looking at the game to jump in. The light level across the board is going to be reset at 1050, so everyone's going to be at the same starting point. There's going to be just unbelievable amount of content to go through. Going to be new armor to chase, new weapons to chase, new abilities and new builds to discover, and I really believe that this is a huge turning point in Destiny's life. People have been speculating whether it's going to be as big a deal as like Forsaken or Taken King was, and I believe it will be bigger in not necessarily just size of content, but just the importance that content brings to Destiny as a whole. But needless to say, I'm very positive about the future, and as I said at the beginning of the video and throughout, I am stoked for Tuesday when this releases. So if you've enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. Please comment below your thoughts if you anticipating the content as much as I am, or if you have concerns, and just your general thoughts and opinions are always appreciated. If you want to join my community, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and also feel free to join us over on Facebook, where I stream every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. From next week onwards, you're going to be seeing a lot of Destiny content on this channel, so I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, stay safe, stay positive, and I shall see you all very soon indeed. Bye bye.
That was inconceivable!